So we're going to start as we're lying down. I'm just going to pull a little bit away from the wall. Of just landing on the floor for a moment. And then we're going to go right into doing some awarenesses through the spine, just bringing fluidity through the spine. So you're going to have your slow mo ball close by and land on the floor. Take a few breaths. Just inhale nose, exhale mouth. Check in how body is feeling as we come in. So we did a little check-in as a group, but also noticing just how your body meets the ground. Let the breath just find a rhythm of either exhaling out the mouth or pursing the lips and blowing the breath out the mouth. And see if body needs a little bit of movement just to arrive and land. Okay, and then we're going to take the semi-inflated slow-mo ball and we're going to place it under pelvis. So under the back of the pelvis. So below the lower back to start. We're just going to bring some fluidity. So sometimes when we have tight shoulders, when we release pelvis, we can also have that ripple effect of releasing up through shoulders. So once you put it under the pelvis, we're just going to do a few movements of just rolling a little bit from side to side, maybe circling. And the pelvis loves fluidity, so that connection to water. And so noticing this feeling of connecting to water, and just allow your pelvis as you breathe to roll around. This is a very creative energy center in the body. So if you give the pelvis some space to move around, then you might notice that the pelvis instinctively just starts to have some movement come in. And then at any time, if you want to go into some pelvic tilts, you can do so. So you might inhale, feel your sit bone, tailbone reach down. You'll feel a little arc in your lower back. And then as you exhale, you can reach your sit bone, tailbone up. The lower back will start to kind of flatten towards the floor. And some of us might not come all the way to the floor because we do have that height. And just go back and forth into flexion and extension. So that inhale, sit bones, tailbones reaching down. Exhale, sit bone, tailbone reaching up. And just take a moment to feel that awareness rippling up through the spine. So when we do spinal waves, we slowly are not only affecting the pelvis, but the movement is moving up the spine, the whole spine, through the lower back, the thoracic spine, through the back of the neck. And you'll even feel your head gently moving, for some of us, through the movement coming from the pelvis. And check in with your arms. Do you feel that the arms are at a nice distance away from the body? Maybe palms down, maybe palms up. See what feels better on the shoulders. And then we're going to pause in our movement, and you're going to have your arms about 1 to 2 feet away from body, and you're going to turn your palms down if that feels okay, and shoulders, just to provide a little bit of stability here. And you're going to push the floor the hands gently into the floor and see if you can lift one leg up, just having the knee bent, just bring the thigh towards the body. See how that feels. And then see if you can lift the other leg up. So you have both legs up towards body. Good. Just take a moment to feel that. Then slowly extend the right shin and foot into the air and then the left shin and foot. Keep your knees as bent as you need to. And keep arms on the floor, relax the shoulders, and we're going to do some ankle circles. So just a little bit of core work. So we're just going to start to let the toes draw circles in the air. Good. Feel the breath flow in and out. It might be in through the nose, out through the mouth, or in and out of the nose. And then when one direction starts to get a little bit smoother, go the other direction. Hmm. Good. And then do a little bit of pointing of the toes just up towards the ceiling, and then reaching the heels up towards the ceiling. And as you reach the heels up, feel your pelvis press down into the ball. And as you point your toes up, inhale. And as you feel the heels reach up, press your pelvis down. So you feel a nice straight leg coming in just from the rebound of reaching the heels up. So we're just getting through front and back of the leg, doing a little muscle and fascia release. Good. And then let the knees bend just a tiny bit and find that little reaching up through the heels. Keep a soft toes. And then we're going to do a tiny bit of core work on the ball. So only move your legs as far in a scissor motion as you can, where you can stay connected. So you might even feel as you exhale that SH breath of feeling the ribs gathering together, drawing back that lower belly, drawing in. And we're going to bring right leg towards your torso, and the left leg is going to release down. It doesn't need to come to the floor. And then you're going to inhale. And as you exhale, try to lift your lower abdominals to bring the legs together. And then as you inhale, let the left leg come towards the torso, the right leg lower down. Good. And then inhale, exhale, bring the legs back together and switch. So right leg is coming towards torso, left leg releasing down. Good. Only go as far as you can where you can stay connected, because you are on an uneven surface of the ball. So it's really going to make you find your core awareness. Good. Just do a couple more. Good. Just feel that one or two more times. Good. And then once you're ready, you're going to pause, and we're just going to allow the legs to go out to the side and back together. So you're going to open the legs wide in the air like you're creating a V shape with the legs. Good. Reach out through the outside of your heels and the pinky side of your foot, and then reach through the big toe and the inner heel so you can feel the inside and the outside of the leg. And then as you exhale, I want you to imagine you're taking a big ball in between your legs and you're going to squish the air out. So it might even be an SH breath where you shh to squeeze the legs together. And then when you inhale, I want you to reach out through the legs into that V shape again. As you exhale, good. Let's do that another 3 to 4 more times. Inhale out, exhale. Last 1 to 2 times. Last one. Good. Then bend the knees. Bring the feet down so you can bring them one at a time or both together. Good. And then you're going to take the slow-mo ball as you press your feet into the floor, lift your pelvis up, and just move the slow-mo ball now into the lower back. So it's just supporting the curve of the lower back. Good. And then you're going to very gently just start to feel the legs just wiper a little bit from right to left. So you might widen the feet a little bit wider than hip width. So maybe they become the width of the mat. Arms can stay by the side. You can also bring arms up and hold right hand to left elbow and left hand to right elbow or forearm, upper arm. And you can do inhale, exhale as pelvis and legs go to one side. You might even find the arms going to the other. Feel a little gathering. We're just doing a little twisting here to release. We're going to go inhale to center, exhale to the other side. Your timing. Yeah, good. So now we're getting into the lower back, but also the fascia in the lower back, which is called the thoracolumbar fascia. And this sometimes creates a lot of pulling in the pelvis and the lower back, but it also feeds up and attaches to your arm bones and your upper shoulders. So we're just going from the bottom up because a lot of us felt shoulder stuff today. So we're just releasing lower body to feed up into upper body. Good. Just notice, how long does this movement want to go for? You just let yourself play and feel. You might even pause on one side and breathe for a few rounds. Sometimes body might say, oh, I just need to drop the arms, just do legs. Yeah, good. Just take a little bit more time just to be here. Good. And then we're gonna move, and we're gonna move up into behind the shoulder blades in a moment. So this might be when you move the slow-mo ball here, depending on the holding in the shoulder blades, you might need a chip foam block behind the head. So when you roll over to one side, you're going to take the slow-mo ball from the lower back and you're just going to move it up a little bit in between shoulder blades, and then you can roll back. And you might find that having a chip foam block under your head is what's needed. And knees can be bent, arms can be out to the side. You can even have the arms in a cactus arm. You can even bring the arms up and have the fingers pointed to the ceiling where the pads of the thumb and the fingers are touching and the palm of the hand is open. Yeah, good. There we go. Yeah, you got it. Just checking in where everyone is. Good. So if you have your arms in cactus, you can stay there. For those of you that want to do a little fascia movement here, we're going to have the thumb, index, middle ring, pinky leaning into each other, little bend of the elbow. And then what we're going to do is we're going to let the arms come down towards the legs. And then we're going to bring the arms up so the fingers point to the ceiling. And then maybe you exhale and bring the arms a little bit overhead. Only go as far as it feels comfortable for you. So we're just targeting right in between the shoulder blades. Inhale up, exhale, arms down towards the leg. Good. We're just flowing here, just bringing in a few moves from the fascia release series. Just doing a little myofascia work. So myo means muscles and then fascia. So just remembering that we don't have any muscles in our body that aren't wrapped in fascia. But we do have fascia that does not include muscles. Yeah, just feeling a couple more times. And then also checking in now that you've gone up and overhead and down towards the legs, maybe you pause in center with the fingers pointing up to the ceiling, and you might even inhale and open the arms to the side. Now, don't worry if you don't want to touch the floor. Okay, so if back hands don't want to come to the floor, that's okay. And then you're going to bring the arms up, bring the pads of the thumb, index, middle ring, pinky to touch. And then find out, do you want to inhale when you open? Exhale, lean into the ball to bring the arms up. Mm. At any time, you can rest with the arms out to the side or in a little bit of a cactus. Or if it's too much, down a little bit lower towards hips. Yeah, good. Nice. Just watching over, just feeling the breath here. And just know I'm just walking through the studio just open the window a little bit to create some air. That you can also come out and roll off to the side and remove the slimmer ball at any point. But if it feels okay, just linger. Once you've done some movement, then just pause and breathe and just rest there. Good. Uh-huh. And that invitation to just allow body time. So what we're doing is we're creating a little bit of compression into the back and just slowly allowing the body. It's called a melting method of allowing the fascia to slowly unwind. So we did a little bit of movement first. What we're doing is creating a little bit of compression in the back, and then we're stretching, right? Which helps to release any holding or gripping or adhesions in the fascia. And then we can just pause and find a little bit of rest. And you'll know when you feel ready to come out. I don't want to rush you. You're just going to roll over to the side and pull the ball out. And this time we're going to just lie flat on the floor after you do it, but there's no rush. Good. Yeah, and then just see for some of you that have taken the ball out, how you feel, if any movements are coming in. Yeah, good. How does the body feel? Few breaths. Some of you are instinctively, and the body's leading you of breathing out your mouth a few times just to land and locate and orientate back onto the floor after the flow. And we're going to do a little bit of opening for the back now. So we're going to roll over to the side and just find one side just to roll over onto and pause there. So some of us have been saying, oh, I have one shoulder that's feeling a little bit um, sore today. So roll over to the other side and just pause there. And then whatever your top arm hand is, press it into the floor. We're going to come up and we're going to come up onto our hands and knees or elbows and knees just to let that movement now flow through the whole spine. So you're going to just move anything that's on your mat off the mat as you come up, and we're going to feel hands under shoulders, wrists, or elbows under shoulders. Knees under hips. You can have top of the feet on the floor, or you can also tuck the toes under and just have a little bit of pressing of the toes into the floor. And then you're going to do the pelvic tilt spinal waves on hands and knees or elbows and knees. As you start with the pelvis, sit bones reach down, exhale, pelvis reaches down, back rounds up through the lower back, the middle back, the upper back, the neck and the head. And then you start from the pelvis, inhale, let the sit bones reach up, the lower back gently arch. And feel the shoulder blades squeeze together. Soft gaze forward, not too far. And see if you can feel the movement through the whole spine. Let your breath guide you. Mhm. And then see, sometimes we widen the knees even a little bit more and bring the tips of the toes together. And that's a little alteration in this one once you've done some spinal waves. And just inhale forward and then exhale. Let your pelvis sink back into the pocket, that space that you've created in between the knees and having your toes together. And then circle around. So you're inhaling forward, you're exhaling, the pelvis sinks back to where it feels comfortable in between the thighs, that space that you created. And just notice if there's a little bit more kind of ease. Sometimes when you get back and the pelvis sinks back in between the legs and the feet, you might even just pause there and just sway a little bit from right to left. Your pelvis, let that ripple up the spine and then go in the other direction for your circles. Feel your breath is always paired with everything you do. Yeah, good. Hmm. You can rest at any time in child's pose if you want to do a little lateral stretch where the arms come off to one side and just let the body release. You can. Sometimes the head floats, sometimes the forehead comes to the floor. You can flow through center when it calls to you and move to the other side. And come back to center. We're going to just take another 2 to 3 breaths here, maybe a few more depending on your rate. Feel how the body's expanding on the inhale and gathering in back into body on the exhale. Now we're going to release the torso and the hips, just going into downward dog. So we're going to come up back onto the hands and knees and let the hands come a little bit farther forward. Tuck the toes under, let the head go. Now you're going to inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to push the hands and the feet into the floor to reach the pelvis up towards the ceiling. And then let the knees bend as much as you need to, and just walk out the legs. So really good for lower leg. Heel reaching towards the floor. Good. And then that knee bends, and then the other heel reaches. You might even just go in a dynamic flow movement, or you might pause and hold one side for a few breaths, just really letting the body unwind. Thanks, just holding this for a little bit longer today. And when you're ready, we are going to transition up to standing, so you can just walk feet towards hands, hands back towards feet. And just come in and just check in. Do you want to be in a kind of more deeper forward fold? Do you want to come up just halfway? Do the knees want to bend and just have the forearms rest on the thighs if you don't want to go so deep? Okay, so your level of depth of dropping into this deeper inversion. So downward dog prepares us for the inversion, and then we went right into a deeper one. So just check in with body and blood pressure, how you're feeling. Good. And when it's ready, you press down through the feet, and you're going to come up, unfold, reach the arms up if you choose. Maybe you look up and exhale. Okay, shake it out. Just bring in a few twists. Just let them unfold. Maybe arms stay lower, maybe they come a little bit higher. Wow.